This video was taken during my last day of driving lessons around November 2017. How time flies. And now it's already 2021. That was one day. Well, not really a whole day, but almost 2 hours of that one day. Since my phone's memory was limited at that time, a few minutes of that driving lesson was just recorded, and here it is. Well, I'm still glad it was still recorded. At least I had a memory of one of my driving lessons. That driving lesson from Smart Driving School here in the Philippines was already my second driving lesson because it had been almost 17 years before that I had driven. The first driving lesson that I had was in A1 driving school in 2000, if I could still remember, but I think I didn't finish the required hours during that time. So instead of finishing it in the driving school, my late father, who was good in driving, reviewed my skills, and he was a great driving instructor that I had. But of course, he died in 2009. And since I didn't drive for 17 years, I needed to go back to driving school again. So I enrolled again to refresh myself in driving in 2017. This video recorded a few minutes of my last driving lessons in just one day. But of course, in this episode, I'm not going to tackle on driving per se, but I'm going to talk about one day. Yes, one day. There's just something about one day. So let's go back to the creation of the world. In Genesis chapter 1, it says there, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was over the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. And God said, 'Let there be light.' And there was light. And God saw that the light was good, and God separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening, and there was morning, the first day." And that was the first one day. God made the light, which is called the day, and the darkness, which is called the night. So there was evening and morning. The next one day, God created the heaven. Another one day, God created the dry land, which is called earth, and the waters that were gathered together, he called seas. On that same one day, God created the vegetation, plants yielding seed, and fruit trees bearing fruit, each according to its kind on earth. And everything that was created in that one day was good. And on the fourth one day, God created lights in the expanse of the heavens to separate the day from the night, which will be for signs and seasons, and for days and years. And on that same one day, God created the moon and the sun and the stars. And another one day came, swarms of living creatures and birds were created, great sea creatures and every living creature according to their kinds, and every winged bird according to its kind, livestock and creeping things, and beasts of the earth according to their kinds. And God saw that everything He has made on that another one day was good. And of course, on the sixth one day, God created man in His own image. In the image of God, He created him. Male and female, He created them. Imagine in one day, God created man in His own image. 24 hours of His masterpiece. And in 6 days, day 1 to day 6, the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And of course, on the seventh one day, God rested from all His work that He had done. Wow, one day at a time. So what about you? How do you manage your one day? Or how do you look at one day? I searched Google about one day and saw some interesting quotes about it. Let me read some of them. Singles, it says, one day, someone will walk into your life and make you see why it never worked out with anyone else. Wow. Here's another one-day quote for singles. Maybe not now, maybe not tomorrow, but one day you will be resting in the arms of someone capable of loving you in the way you love them. Wow. And here's another one, not for singles, but for everyone.
We are born in one day, and we die in one day. We can change in one day, and we can fall in love in one day. Everything can happen in just one day.
Do you agree? Here's another one. One day or day one, it's your decision. So, how does God look at one day? In 2 Peter 3:8, it says there, but do not overlook this one fact, beloved, that with the Lord, one day is 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day. In short, God has His own timeline. So we just need to trust God for His timing. And the most important one day that I'm looking forward to is one day we will see Him face to face. That is His promise to those who believe and acknowledge Him as their personal Lord and Savior. That one day, my friend, let's make it as our highest goal in life. But in the meantime, let's make our one day fruitful and productive. Let's run the race that God has for us and make a difference. Remember that with the Lord, one day is like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is like one day. You can do a lot of things in just one day. So don't waste it, but spend it wisely. And if God rested for one day, we also need 1 day of rest each week. For if you will not rest in 1 day, you will lose 1,000 of opportunities to do things. Have a great day, my friend.